Hi guys, welcome to the Content Creator Hub tutorial. This Notion template is designed to help you stay organized, work more efficiently, and boost your productivity as a content creator. Whether you are just starting out or already managing multiple platforms, this system will help you stay on top of your content and scale with ease. This is a quite complex system, so in this video I will guide you through each part of the setup and share tips to help you get the most out of the system. First of all, on the left you can see big navigation bar. At the top there are buttons that will allow you to easily create new database entries, and under the buttons you can see 5 main sections of the system, and we'll go through each of them step by step. So first of all is the cost strategy and foundation, then it's content creation, monetization, creator tools, and productivity hub. So all these 5 parts are essential for every content creator, and they will help you maximize your productivity. So first of all, I'll show you how to use the buttons. These buttons are also very useful if you are on your mobile phone, because this navigation will show at the top if you open the template. So if you want to just create new content, you can click the button on the top, and here it will show a new content. So I will just name this new content. So you can select content type. You can see there are multiple content types that are specific for each platform. Then there is status of the content, so if there is to do, in progress, or complete. I will go through this in detail when we get to the content creation part. You can also select a platform for the content, so keep in mind that this planner is only used for platforms X, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, and Pinterest. So if you are using any other platform, then this system might be not your perfect choice. However, I think most people do use these 8 platforms, so it should be enough. And there are many other properties like publish date, days left, intention, priority, publish link, and then you can link it to other databases, and I will go through this later in this guide. So as you can see, the content was added into the content ideas because its status is content idea. If I change it to, for example, planned, it will disappear from content ideas, and it will not show under today tab because I didn't enter a date. It will not show this week because there is no date as well. It's not overdue, and you can see it will pop up in unscheduled. So if you just add a date, for example today, it will disappear from the unscheduled view, and you can see it in the today view. But as I said, this will be explained later in the guide. Also, this dashboard is very flexible, so if you don't want to have content manager at the top and you would like to have, for example, platforms at the top of your dashboard, you can just move it like this, drag it here, and you will have your platforms at the top of your dashboard. And you can play around with this as well if you want tasks here. It's really up to your preferences, but my preferred setup is this, so I will just return to the default setup. And now we can get to the strategy and foundation, which is the first part of the system. Let's dive into the first part. This is where we lay the strategic foundation of your brand, so everything you create is aligned with your content strategy. Here you can see there are 2 views of profile pictures, active and inactive. So if you click on the first picture, you can easily upload the profile image here. If you don't want my picture, then you can delete it here and you can upload your own version. You can also pick a platform that this profile image is related to, because many content creators, as I noticed, have different profile pictures for different platforms if they use multiple platforms, and this will allow you to define pictures for each platform. So I know this is just a detail, but you can create multiple pictures, and if you just don't like this picture, and you can just set it as inactive and it will show in the inactive view. but here you should have your main profile pictures basically. And under that you can see bio, and that's the similar situation to profile picture. You can link specific platforms to each bio depending on which bio you are using for that platform. So I think this is pretty simple. On the right, there's just some basic questions. The questions are, for example, what is the niche of your brand, purpose, your mission, core values, etc. This will really help you find your purpose and why do you create content in the first place. Under that, you can see strengths and weaknesses. So every content creator has their strengths and their weaknesses that they need to acknowledge. And here you can define your target audience with key demographics and key psychographics. And the last but not least, there is visual identity. So I also included the profile picture so you can see next to your typography and colors. Let's get to content pillars. So these are the core themes of your content creation. Think of them as the main categories your content falls into. You can also break them into subtopics to make idea generation much easier later on. Next, you can see your skill tree. This is a very simple database. This is your space to track your creator skills and confidence levels. So it will help you see where you are strong and where you want to grow. The last part of the strategy and foundation section is mentors and creators. But basically, these are the people who inspire you. You can keep their profiles here so you can always return for ideas or for motivation. I will show you how to create a new mentor or creator. So just type a new one. For example, my favorite creator is Alex Hormozy. You can add description, you can link a content pillar to his name. You should be adding creators that are in your niche, right? So they should have similar content pillars so that you can link them to the content pillars. And also you can link it to a platform on which this creator is most active. So if I go to Alex Hormozy Instagram, I can just copy his link and then you can add the link to his profile here and the text will become gray and you can click on it and it will direct you to his profile. Now we'll go through part 2 of the Ultimate Content Creator Hub. This is by far the most important part of the entire system. It's your engine for content creation. It's where ideas turn into posts and where you manage every step from brainstorming ideas to planning, writing and publishing. The most important database is the Content Manager. This is the heart of our Notion template. The Content Manager dashboard is split into 6 parts. On the left, you've got quick create buttons for different types of content. In the center, the Content Manager itself with many different views. Below, your content ideas. And below that, you've got the Kanban status board and calendar view to help you stay consistent and never miss a deadline. At the bottom, we can see an overview of all your content. We have 2 different views. One of them is all, which is all of your content, and the other one is published, where you can only see content that has its status updated to published. Think of this part as a behind-the-scenes archive of everything you've created. Now I will show you how to quickly create a new database entry and a new piece of content. So for example, if you want to create an IG reel, you just go here in the left bar, you click on a short video button, it will automatically update the content type. It will give a default status, which is idea. Now I'm just gonna name this new IG reel. Next, you can link a platform to this content piece. So I will link Instagram. And for example, if you want to publish this piece of content to multiple platforms, you can even pick, for example, TikTok or YouTube for YouTube Shorts. You can link one piece of content to multiple platforms. Then there are many other properties, such as publish date. I will set this as today. The days left property will automatically update because it's a Notion formula that I've created. Next, we have an intention. For example, we want to entertain people. Priority, I will give this a medium priority. And if the content piece is already live, you can drop the published link here. You can also link this content to one of your products and services. sponsorships and affiliates, and even a hook or add a hashtag preset. These are the databases from other parts of this system, so I will explain them later. Now I will quickly explain the content manager and its different views. So first of all, it's today view that only shows content with today's date. Next we have the planned view that displays your upcoming scheduled content and has its status set as planned. Then we have the in progress view, which only shows pieces of content that have status set as research, creating, or editing. Next we have an overdue view, which catches posts that you were not able to post in time, and it will also show by how many days you have missed the deadline. And lastly, there is an unscheduled view, which will show content that doesn't have a date yet. I showed you this at the beginning of the tutorial. Under your content manager, you have content ideas. This is the same database as content manager, but it only filters content that have its status set as idea. Below that, you can see a status board. This is a nice little system that makes everything more organized. You can drag posts through different phases. For example, from idea, you can drag it to research. From research, you can drag it to editing, and so on. Once you publish your content, it will disappear from the status board. Then we have the calendar view. This is how you visually plan your content. You can drag content onto specific days to schedule it, and it's instantly updated inside your main content manager too. You also have two different views, weekly and monthly. It's a really great way to see all your deadlines. It's each piece of content supposed to be published. At the bottom, all your posts are archived in this section. Next, we have the brainstorm board. Unlike the content manager database, this is where you dump literally everything. Half-made hooks, notes from podcasts, content seeds, anything. I recommend doing longer brainstorm sessions. Throw out 15 to 20 ideas, then filter them and refine only the best one or two into a real content idea. If you really like one idea, you can just drag it from brainstorm board into content ideas, and its status will automatically update. Then you can just open the page and give it the specific template. So if you want to make a long format YouTube video, you can just click the second template and it will automatically update the content type. You can also link the platform and fill out the other properties. Not every idea deserves to live forever, and that's what the archive is for. To clear your brainstorming board, drag the unused ideas into the brainstorm archive, or you can just delete the ideas permanently. Next up, we have your platform overview. Instagram, YouTube, X, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. At the top, you will see your total follower count across all platforms. Below that, each platform lets you track your follower count, activity status, uploaded content count, launch date, growth quality, and many other metrics. Inside each platform page, you will also find linked views of the content manager, of your published content, inspirational content, and mentors and creators you are learning from on this platform. The Inspiration Bank. When you come across content you admire, a tweet, a carousel, a video, save it here. You can organize inspiration by platform, by pillar, or even by creator who made it. The goal isn't just to copy the content, it's to recreate it and reverse engineer what works and remix it in your own voice. So if you like a piece of content, you can just add a new page, new inspiration. The status will automatically set as to recreate because you haven't recreated this type of content, and the goal of your inspiration bank should be always to recreate this type of content. Then you will add the content type. So if it was just a tweet, you will add short written posts. You will add X. You can link the creator, and you can also upload the content URL. Now we have different views of your inspirational content. Here we will show the posts that you need to recreate. Here it will show the posts that you already recreated. And here you can see everything that you've saved in your inspiration bank. Under that you can also see your mentors and creators. If you open their profile, here you can see the inspirational content that is linked to them. And if you scroll below, you can also see a full database of the content that is linked to this creator. Now let's talk about your posting schedule. This is the visual map of your entire content plan. So here you can add a content type, a day, and also a time of when this type of content should be published. So every creator needs a schedule that they can stick to so they don't burn out and they can stay consistent for a long period of time. So here you can just add what type of content you want to post when, on which platform, and at what time. Creating content is amazing, but monetizing that content is what transforms your passion into a sustainable business. So whether you sell your own products or services, or promote others through affiliate links and sponsorships, in the Content Creator Hub, I've built 5 powerful pages specifically designed to help you track, manage, and grow your revenue. Finance Tracker, Product Manager, Service Manager, Sponsorships and Affiliates, and Testimonials. Together, these tools form a comprehensive monetization system that integrates with your content strategy. Let's explore each one in detail. First, let's look at the Finance Tracker, which is your financial command center. So on the left, you can see the financial overview. Here in the middle, you can see your accounts with the current balance. And here is the main database, income and expenses. So there are many different views, such as today for both income and expenses. Then there is a view that groups income and expenses by month. And lastly, it calculates the monthly profit and yearly profit, which is overall income minus overall expenses. If you want to add a new income, you just click the button, then you add a name, the income amount, the account, and the income source. If you open the page, you can see all the properties. That means if you add a new income, then you won't be filling the expense amount and expense source properties, because those are supposed to be used for expenses. Under that, you can also see sponsorships and affiliates, which you can link to the current income. Below you can also see your subscriptions, your active and unsubscribed ones. And there is also a view of all your subscriptions. If you open the subscription page, you can see many different properties. So the most important one is status, whether your subscription is active or inactive. Then there is the cost of the subscription. You can also pick a billing, the account, the expense source, subscribe date. The next payment formula will automatically calculate the next date of your payment. That date is based on the subscribe date and the billing type. If you want to unsubscribe, but you want to keep the financial records, you just add an unsubscribe date, you set the status as unsubscribed, and then you can see the subscription is no longer active, and you can see it in the unsubscribed view. The subscriptions database is all automatic. You just need to add the billing, the cost, the subscribe date, and then everything else will be covered by my formulas and rollups. So subscriptions will be part of your expenses, but they will occur automatically without any manual input. Under that, there is also a calendar of income and expenses, and also a calendar view where you can see the next payment of your subscriptions. And at the bottom, there are also income sources and expense sources. And it also shows how much money you've spent overall on the specific source. Next, let's explore the product manager, your digital product headquarters. So the product manager also has a left navigation bar with the buttons. If you want to create a product, you can just click one of the buttons and it will add the template related to that product type. On the right, you can also see the different views for different types of products. So let's use one of the buttons. Let's say we want to create a digital product. The type property will automatically set as digital product. The status is just an idea. Then you also need to add a category to specify the product in more detail. So let's say we want to create an ebook. We'll price the ebook at $10. If you have a publish URL, you can just paste it here. Then you will select the payment model. So if the product is one-time purchase, or if it's, for example, a recurring subscription, that would be very often for communities or for software. Then you can add your target customer, launch date of the product, a short description, and also a cover image. Below, you can also see a related content property. That means you can link the content so you know exactly where you promoted this product. For example, if we promoted the product in our IG reel, we can just link it here and it will show the content. However, the active products are only those that are completed and don't need any other development. So below you can see the pre-launch status, whether it's an idea, market research, in development, or if it's pre-launch. Once you set the status property as active, it will disappear from the pre-launch status view and it will appear in your active products. Below you can also see the products in two different views. One will show the recurring products and the other will show one-time products. And at the bottom there is an overview of all your products. Next we have the service manager, which is very similar to the product manager. However, I wanted to make those pages different because some creators offer just products, some just services, and if it was all together, then I think it would be very unorganized. At the top you can see two buttons. For recurring services, you will have a client that pays you in a recurring way. Then you can also have a one-time service, such as landing page or web design, which is a one-time project. So at the top you can also see the service overview. This is the same as in the product manager, where you can only see the active services that are already on the market and offered by you. And here you can also see the inactive services that you may have offered in the past, but right now you don't want to offer them. The pre-launch status works exactly the same as in the product manager. Here you can see the same stages that your service can go through. So if I, for example, add a new one-time service, you can see that it is the exact same database. So there are the same properties as in the product manager. Then once you set it as active, it will disappear from the pre-launch status and appear in your active services. At the bottom we also have a view that separates the services based on the payment model, whether it's recurring or one time. You can see both views here. So now that we covered the product and service managers, let's look at sponsorships and affiliates. This is your partnership management system. The page includes an overview of your partnerships, status, and partnerships guidelines. So here in the deal view, you can see the exact details of the sponsorship or the affiliate program. You can add all necessary contact information, such as the person you are in touch with, communication style, email, phone number, and also a link to his social media account. Below you can see the status view. Here it will show the planned and active sponsorships or affiliates. At the bottom you can see the partnership guidelines that are your non-negotiables. So now we can create a new partnership. So if I was a fitness influencer, I could get a sponsorship from Gymshark. Then here is the collaboration type. Some of you might be asking what is the difference between an affiliate and a sponsorship. So let me quickly explain that. Sponsorship is more when a brand pays you a fixed amount to promote their product or service. You get paid upfront or per campaign or per post. It's not based on the results. However, affiliate marketing is when you promote someone's product and get paid a commission for each sale made through their unique link or your code. And you earn per sale, for example, 10% commission for every customer you refer. So here the Gymshark would be a sponsorship because the brand actually approached me for a sponsorship. The total revenue will be calculated based on the payments that are linked to the sponsorship. And here there are the properties that we talked about earlier. So you can link your affiliate link if it's an affiliate. You can add start date and end date if it's a sponsorship based on a time period. Here you can add a contact person, communication, email, phone, social media, the stuff we talked about. And here you can link content to this sponsorship. So you can easily track which content you promoted, this company. And also here you can add a payment. So if you get paid from the sponsorship, you can add that to your finance tracker and you add a new database entry as an income. And then you can link that income to your sponsorship. So for example, here, if I link this payment, let's say it was for a sponsorship, now it will calculate the total revenue, $50. But we added another income, then it will calculate the total revenue, $250. So this is how you track your affiliates and sponsorships. If you don't have a platform where you track all of your testimonials, I just added a simple database where you can add testimonials from your customers. Let's add a new testimonial. Let's say the person who added the testimonial was Mark. He reviewed our web design service. He gave us 5-star rating. Here you can also type his full name. Now you can see the type of testimonial he gave us. You can add a date of when this testimonial was received, and then you can also add a URL. And here under that you can paste the text, upload a video or a screenshot. This is like your workspace where you can add whatever type of media you want. And this is everything from the monetization part of our Content Creator Hub. The section number 4 is Creator Tools. This section is packed with powerful tools to help you grow faster, work smarter, and stay focused on what works. So let's start with the Analytics dashboard. This is your monthly review system for 8 key platforms. Don't be confused, this Analytics dashboard cannot be linked with the actual social media platforms. There is no integration between Notion and any social media platform, so the data here will not be automatically updated. You must input everything manually. I know it might sound a bit too complicated and you might think it's a lot of work to input all the data from your social media accounts, and you actually have analytics inside of your social media. So this dashboard is just an overview. If you have more social media platforms at once and you want to track everything all together, this dashboard is quite useful. So I would say you can also link the top content, which type of content performed the best at each month of the year. So you can track what works, you can analyze, and you can improve based on your best content. At the top, you will find 3 read-only sections that update automatically when you enter your monthly stats. Total followers, combined views and impressions, and other analytics like total website visits or total email signups. So the first database, views and impressions, it has 8 views for each social media platform. So it will show only the Instagram views or only YouTube views or only X impressions, right? Here you won't be entering any data. You will enter data in the views and impressions tracker. So at the end of each month, just click New, name the entry by the month. You will add the first day of that month, and then you can input the number of views for each platform and also website visits or email signups. Here you can also link the top performing content for this month. If you also scroll down, you can see the monthly review, where you can quickly summarize and reflect on your month. Inputting information is really easy. You just go to your social media platform. So for example, I will go to my Threads account. I can click the analytics and I can click the last 30 days and it will give me an overview of my total views, and I can just simply put that into the Notion database. Then I will link my top performing content which had the most success, and here you can track your website visits and email signups. By checking your stats once a month, you can focus your energy on high impact content that actually moves the needle and actually works. Next we have an AI assistant. This is a very simple database, which is a space filled up with pre-made ChatGPT prompts to speed up your content creation process. You can use the templates I've added or drop in your own customized prompts. Right, and whenever you want to create new content, you just go here, you copy the prompt to your clipboard, you go to ChatGPT, and you can start creating. Now we also have a hook vault, so if you have some very good hooks that perform extremely well, I would really recommend saving them in this database. And also if you want to test out new hooks, you can save as many of them as you want. You can track them by performance, so if this hook was great, we can even add it to amazing. Also add audience type and also a type of a hook. Then when you start creating more hooks, you will have a basic understanding of what works and what not. If you want to reuse your old hooks and maybe just tweak them a little bit, change a few words, but keep the structure same, you can keep this in your database. And whenever you want to create new content, you can just relate it to the hook. This is basically your place to store high-performing hooks and link them to platforms and specific content pieces. Then we have the audio bank. This is where you can save audio trends and link them to platforms or reels. So this is pretty similar to the hook database. You can link a platform, you can add URL of this audio, or even files or media. You can also decide if this is trending or not, and you can keep it at the top of your database. Then we have the hashtag bank, where you can create individual hashtags and organize them into reusable buckets. So this is very useful for platforms where hashtags are useful. But if you consistently use hashtags, you can just add your hashtags here. If you click the all view, you can add a new hashtag. So hashtag content. I can link it to a hashtag preset. I can add the type and also volume of this hashtag. So each hashtag usually has volume of how frequently it is used on the social media platform. Then at the top we can see that the first preset has a new hashtag that we just created. It also calculates the size of the preset. And this is very useful if you have presets that you want to use more frequently. You can just go to this database, copy the hashtag preset to your clipboard, and you can paste it into your social media post. And lastly, we have the resources page, where you can save like articles, tools, PDFs, courses, swipe files, literally everything that comes to your mind. There are many different views, like recent view. It will show the ones that you added in the last 7 days. You can also see the resources are categorized by status. So usually when you add a new resource, you can study it, you can have it as to review. If it's a longer resource, you can move it to reviewing. Whenever you are finished with studying this resource, you can mark it as reviewed or reference material. So if it was just a resource that you don't want to use in the future, but you want to keep it in this database, I recommend mark it as reviewed. And you think that this resource might be helpful for you in the future, then you can mark it as reference material. If you mark it as reference material, it will show in the view at the bottom. The one thing I haven't mentioned, you can also add a tag to your resource, and whenever you open the resource, it will show up your resources in the second database. It also has notes, which I will cover in the 5th part of this guide. Now let's move on to the Productivity Hub. So if you want to track your daily tasks, you have some long-term projects, goals, you want to keep your notes, then Productivity Hub is exactly a space for you. So if you go to tasks, here there is a basic database and 3 views. So we have tasks for today, your upcoming tasks, and overdue tasks. So the overdue view shows the tasks that you missed the deadline and they were not completed. So if I just mark this task 1 as completed, it will disappear from the overdue view. This will be the tasks for today. I can also add a project, but this task clearly doesn't have a bigger project, so we can skip this part of linking it to a project. Then there is also a task calendar, which shows your tasks based on the date. At the bottom there is also a view of all your completed tasks. As I said, you can link your tasks to a project, and this is the project's database. So if you open a project, we can link the task related to this project, and also at the bottom we can see a database of all the tasks that are related, and based on how many tasks you complete, then the progress bar of your project will update. When your project is 100% finished, you can mark the status as completed, and it will disappear from this status view. Then it will appear in the completed view, and there is also a view of all your projects. Under that you also have a timeline and a deadline calendar, which will only show the deadlines of each project. At the bottom there is also a project history view, which will show all your projects all together. If you have any goals as a content creator, you can use this goals page. This is a very simple system where you add a new goal, you add a due date, when do you want to achieve this goal. You can add a priority and also a type. Then we can go to the key results. We can use this button and add a new key result. I can link it to a goal I just created. I can also add a due date of this key result, and then it will show up in the key results database. If I also add a new key result, so I will use key result. Now I have two key results for that goal, and when I complete this key result, I can mark it as done, and the progress bar of our goal will update. If I finish all the key results necessary in order to complete the goal, it will disappear from the key results and also from goals. And then we can see all the completed goals and key results in the completed views. Next, we have a notes page. This is very similar to our resources, but resources are usually something like an article or website or a tool, and you want to organize all your internet resources in one place. Notes are a space where you can add new ideas, or if you have new insights, or you just listen to a podcast or read an interesting book, maybe related to content creation, you can add a new note, you can name it, and here you can write the insight or a few sentences that you found very interesting. You can also link the tag for this note. You can also mark it as favorite if it was something you really liked. And there are also 4 different views. So the inbox will show notes that don't have a tag. So those are basically notes that were just fleeting in the air. You just wrote them down and you didn't really think about linking them to a specific tag. So once you add a tag to this note, it will disappear from your inbox. Next, we have a recent view, which will only show notes that you added in the last 7 days. And then there's also your favorite notes. At the bottom, there's also a view for all of your notes based on the created time. It's ordered from the oldest to the newest. And lastly, we have a focus mode view, which has a built-in Pomodoro timer. Under that, you can also see your tasks. You can also link your Spotify or any other playlist. And here, this is basically where you do deep work sessions. So if you don't know how Pomodoro timer works, it has short breaks, long breaks, and a focus mode. So usually Pomodoro is 4 focus sessions in a row that have just short breaks between them. After the 4 focus sessions, it has a 1 longer break. Then the longer break is followed by another 4 focus sessions with short breaks in between. And that's basically everything for our Ultimate Content Creator Hub. Everything you need to stay organized, consistent, and creative, all in one place. If you found this helpful, this template is ready for you to start using right away. If you have any questions, just send me an email and I will answer any uncertainties. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.